So Daniel and his long head arrives, and as soon as he arrives, I'm immediately grossed out. He's extremely disrespectful to women. He's calling the women scraps and leftovers and just making all these disgusting comments. And when he compared himself to Beyonce, I almost vomited. Daniel, you could never have several seats. Oh gosh, he's so gross. What season was he on? Ew. Poor women now have to scramble over Daniel and no tea, no shade, but serial killer Jack. Listen, brother, you give off Ted Bundy. It is what it is. So the ladies are scrambling, trying to get one of these dudes to give them a rose and, freaking out because since Matt left, somebody is definitely going home. And Lacey, as soon as Daniel comes in, she jumps on him and he's so disgusting. And she's so desperate to be in a relationship. She overlooks his terrible behavior. He's literally trying to say things to get a reaction out of her, which is why I feel like they put him on this show. But I'm just immediately grossed out, and I feel so sad for Lacey, who is just extremely desperate accepting this disgusting behavior from Daniel. Even Jasmine was trying to make it work with him, but the things that he was saying, she was just like, Daniel, like she couldn't even go with it. So I wasn't surprised that he didn't give his rose to Jasmine because she just was not going along with his horrible behavior. Lacey was. She ends up getting a rose from him. Jack ends up giving his rose to Kristen, and then Matt, trying to be the noble man he is, he comes back and he gives his rose to Jasmine. But Jasmine is so shady and mad. She's not even giving him any type of she's not giving him the reaction that he wants. He hoped that when he came back in like a knight in shining armor, that she was going to be all over him and she was going to be hugging him and thankful and crying. He calls her name and she's like, thank you. She was giving him nothing. She was paying him dust, and I was very proud of her because he broke her heart. He really let her down and disappointed her, played her on national TV, and then tries to come in and be some kind of hero. Dude, this is what you should have done. Nobody's giving you a gold star for being a decent human being when you haven't been one for the past 2 episodes. Taylor and Derek, I still don't get it. So Dean gives his rose to Christina, and she's acting all giddy like she got herself a prize. And then in her confessional, she's dumping on D-Lo, talking about karma is, coming back on her, and she's fouling all of these things. Why are you mad at D-Lo and not at Dean, who you are in some pseudo kind of weird relationship with? D-Lo owes you nothing. Dean does. And so the fact that she was acting like D-Lo did something so heartbreaking and backstabbing her, unless there's something that we have missed that we did not see, that it was established that Dean was her man, because even when D-Lo asked her, she made it seem like it wasn't that big of a deal. So I know why she's mad at her, because this is what women are trained to do, but it's so pathetic to actually see it played out. She's giving all of this anger that she should be giving to Dean to D-Lo, and she just looks so sad on TV. You're coming down on D-Lo, and your so-called man thinks that you're boring and gave you a guilt rose so that you can make it to the next episode because he feels guilty, not because he wants you to stay. If he had it his way, you'd be gone, and he'd be banging D-Lo over there on some sand couch that they got in the middle of that dirty beach. You know what? The beach isn't dirty. The contestants are. Have you seen that bungalow? It is filthy. And this scene with Christina and Dean explains why he desires D-Lo over Christina. Because there's this scene, and first of all, I'm like, are they 13 years old? She's daring him to get a boner or whatever, and this is the spice of their life. This is why Dean is bored with Christina, because this is the height of their passion. D-Lo breathes and Dean gets a boner. She doesn't have to do much. All she got to do is just swish that mole around, and he can't control himself. But you're daring him to get a boner. Girl, why is Daniel wearing panties in every scene? Boy, put something on. We are not impressed. So this is the thing, right? This show is trying to be very PC. They're trying to cure racism. They're trying to stop men from raping women. So why do they have a dude on here who is completely disgusting, who is, in my opinion, being verbally abusive to Lacey? He's doing everything he can to break her down and demean her as his shtick. And it is so disgusting to watch a woman who wants to be wanted so badly that she'll accept that behavior. And I don't know, this show has been so PC about so many things. I don't know why they would show this woman, in my opinion, being tortured by this douchebag. So Daniel ends up giving Lacey the date card because he knows that he could treat her like trash and she'll accept it, because when he was trying to talk to Jasmine, I think it was between Jasmine and Lacey with the date card, I think he had to choose between one of them, and I feel like he was leaning more towards Jasmine, but Jasmine was so disgusted by his Caitlyn Jenner comment that he just ended up taking Lacey, who will let him say and do anything. I really feel like he's trying to do the grossest things or say the grossest things ever, and Lacey will not budge. Like, she really wants to be with someone, and that's why I said from jump when her grandfather passed that maybe she wasn't that maybe she was too fragile for this show, and I still stand by it, because just watching her and how this dude treats her, I'm beyond disgusted. So the Tickle monster is here. Okay. He's a really nice guy, right? But he's so weird and awkward. And I feel like there's more to him, but maybe the producers push him to be like this because it's kooky to watch on TV. I don't know, but I would love to get to know more about him than the fact that he tickles adults. Because I hope he ain't tickling them kids. So the Tickle monster goes after Kristen, and they sit down and they're talking for like 2 seconds. He kisses her and she allows it. And I'm immediately grossed out, but then it hits me. These two are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, which means they're perfect for each other. They're going to work out. I honestly see these two go on their long run. I see them coming back and being married on this show, like that weird couple with the eyebrows and the pirate facial hair. I see these two going the long haul, because for some reason, crazy and wacky just seem to work out well together, as we saw in the last Bachelor in Paradise wedding. I'm specifically waiting for this reunion, and I hope to go live after that if I'm not busy. I am specifically waiting for this reunion because I cannot wait for D-Lo to redeem for Phil. The way he talks about her, I'm telling you, if she knew that he was saying these things about her, that she's a fun time, she would not be giving this boy the time of day. Dean, how are you so gross? I'm not even mesmerized by his cakes anymore. I'm so disgusted by his behavior on this show. No, I'm not mesmerized by those cakes. No. Did y'all see how Jack looked at Kristen when she went on her date with Tickle Monster? Sis, you better stay woke. Literally, he's crazy. I feel like I'm at my limit to how bad I can feel for Christina, because in this instant, I'm feeling bad for Robbie. So Robbie and Christina go to sit down by like this bungalow couch or whatever the thing is called. And it overlooks the pool where D-Lo and Dean is having like this makeout, intimate under the starlight sessions in the pool. And Christina is just falling apart. And poor Robbie, I felt like he was just hanging out with her. He walked over there with her, and Christina had this full-on breakdown. And Robbie is just sitting there awkward because he doesn't know what to do. Because this woman is like breaking down crying, and in his mind, he's just like what to do? You don't know this guy. Like, a relationship hasn't really been established. This situation is awkward and weird, and I want to leave. And I felt so bad for him because Christina is just she's shaking and crying, and Robbie is sitting there like, that would have been me. So now we're back in the studio with Wells. Why? Then we get this meeting with Matt and Jasmine. And I was happy that she spoke her mind. And I was actually happy that she took the high road. Like, she said, I wasn't mad at him. Like, she's over it. She's done. But her thing was, I didn't know why he would lead me on. We were friends first, so I wish he would have told me or like said something like he wasn't interested in me. And it seems like they all hung out before this show. So I don't think that everybody is meeting each other for the first time. I feel like a lot of them have history together, because she was fairly cool with Matt, but she was just disgusted by the fact that, this dude played her on national TV. She watched it on TV. Then she had to sit here in front of this live studio audience and watch the clip go back and forth again of her being played by this dude who she considered a friend and somebody she could really consider being in a relationship with. So she felt like a fool. But I was glad that she was mature enough and just strong enough in herself to just be like, I'm over it. I just needed to know why you did that and explain yourself. So she squashes it. She says, I'm over and I'm done. Then Matt decides to like bring it up. He's just like, oh, so you're saying that we wouldn't work out together? And then Chris is like, listen, Matt, when you're out of crazy, don't drive back into it. And I don't think he was calling Jasmine crazy. I think that he was talking about the situation. Like, the situation is dead and done. It's over. It was a weird, crazy, complicated situation. You're out of it. She's cool. You're cool. Move on. But then I have a problem with Matt, because I'm just like, you were the one who were saying that you guys weren't good for each other. So why are you getting frustrated when Jasmine says that back to you, that you two wouldn't work out, that that you guys weren't good for each other? This is the games that he plays, and I'm so shocked that Matt would do that. I'm just like, dude, no tea, no shade, but you ain't no Dean. Women are forgiving Dean because he's fine. Matt, you are okay in a Popeye kind of way. I had to say it. He gives me Popeye. So then we get to Corinne, and I'm just like, sis, you should not have done this interview, because I don't think Corinne looked any better than she looked in the media. First of all, Demario is like the Bachelor sweetheart at this point. So for her to come out and try to like throw him under the bus and say that he spoke to the media first, and to have any kind of issue with him when he's being made out to be like this raper of white women, it was just, the audience and Chris really wasn't feeling her, and I couldn't give her much sympathy just because of her behavior. Like, I was really upset with how this thing went down, but to be honest, we really don't know what happened. So I am only going off of her behavior and how she kept on playing the victim but wasn't really giving details to anything. And then with her trying to throw Demario under the bus, it was just like, girl, I don't think you look really good doing this. And also, when she lawyered up so quickly, I told you guys when she first lawyered up that this was not a good idea, because one, you're going up against $1 billion studio. Two, you don't know what happened. Somebody told you that something happened. Not only are you lawyering up, you're talking to the media, you're having interviews, you're suing people. Like, you just reacted so quickly for a coin, in my opinion, and it backfired. And I don't see her being able to do anything else besides playing the villain on reality TV shows. And the coins for the villain are not as much as the coins for the sweetheart. So I just don't see her being very successful in what she wants to do after this, because of the decisions that she made so quickly with this whole fiasco. Because if she just would have sat back and just really, took the moment for what it was, I felt like if she would have played her cards right, she really could have came out of this and probably have been the next Bachelorette, in my opinion. But I just don't feel like she played her cards right. I think she went greedy too quick, and she didn't go smart. Like, you can be smart and still get the money, but she just went to straight greed and messed herself up. And that's just based off of what I have read in the interviews. Again, we don't really know what has happened. If there's something more intimate that has happened, I'll totally have a different perspective. But from what I have so far, I don't see this being good for her. I see this whole situation in the long run working well for Demario. I don't see it working well for her. I do see her playing the villain on different reality TV shows, but I also feel like it's a dark hole. That villain is a dark hole. Having to play somebody that's negative all the time weighs on you. So, Corinne, if you want to stay in this entertainment industry, I think it's only going to be as a villain. Unless you know what, maybe there may be some reality TV show where there's just like, redo my image and give me a new outlook on life. Maybe do something like that. That could really help you. That's a smart idea. Do something like that. Clean up my image. So there's a lot of reality TV shows out there like that are probably coming. So do a show like that. Don't go into the villain role, because there's nowhere for you to grow from there. Unless you're Omarosa. But she's banned from the black community. So who's winning in that situation? Not her. Also, I really liked how Chris Harrison was standing up for Demario. Every time Corinne tried to throw him under the bus, he was not having it. He defended him, and he brought it back to him and made sure that he was taking away that rapist or assaulter of white woman shame off of him. You know what I mean? Like, I really felt like he was doing the work to make Demario look good. And also, I feel like ABC came out looking good as well. Demario and ABC were the clear winners in this whole fiasco. I don't think Corinne came out looking good. I really, really don't. I don't think that this benefited her the way it's going to benefit ABC and Demario in the long run. So it's really, really unfortunate. I wish she would not have done it. I think she could have milked it for a bigger sit down with more money, but I think that because she lawyered up so quickly and ABC, probably countered a lot stronger than she could afford, that she had to do this. And it's just unfortunate. It just really, really is unfortunate. Anyway, that's where it ends, and I will see you for the following episodes of Bachelor in Paradise. Stay tuned.